Bocchi the Rock is anime of the year. Yo, that's right as fuck. And I say that as someone who's watched every single anime to come out this year. Kill me. So when I tell you that this is the best thing to come out of the year 2022, I damn well mean it. I mean, just look at her. She's so adorable. Bocchi is one of those anime that come along every 10 years, except for this year decided, nah, to hell with that. We're gonna give you 10 of those anime this year and then still have Bocchi at the top of every single one of them. December 1st. Again and again, I've said that the key to an amazing production, and thus anime, is unity of the staff. From the writing, to the directing, to the animation, and so much more. And Bocchi excels not only because it has absolutely stellar writing that dives down deep into an introvert psyche, but because it also has a director that's willing to just let his staff go buck wild and do whatever the shit they want, leading to the most wackiest stuff you've probably seen in an anime that goes from silly claymation to 4x3 in the same scene in a way so fluid and well done that it makes Trigger look like the amateurs that they are. They make great titty though. The voice acting puts Chainsaw Man to shame, as its actors are putting everything they have into their roles on top of having good direction backing them. And in general, Bocchi stands out so much in such a stacked season because while the other more hype shows are stumbling in places, Bocchi is firing on all cylinders, and that shows in every single passing episode being better than the last one. Okay, now hear me out. You'd think it's a story about an introverted girl joining a band in high school to become popular, but really it turns out to be about an attention whore who wants all eyes on her but doesn't have the courage to muster up real conversation. It's the most realistic take on someone with social anxiety yet, but at its core, that's only a guise to attract the more casual viewers who think this it's just like them for real for real. In reality, Bocchi is something most people can't actually relate to, a strong individual. Be she the forever alone attention whore she is, she still possesses those traits that many people lack. She appears weak, but she's anything but, as she may be introverted and shy and has a hard time talking to people, but on the same hand, she's the strongest a person can be because she's honest and strives to push past that, which is something most won't and or can't do. You can see this in the anime itself, where Bocchi's other faker friends are ready to give up at the sign of adversity and let the pressure get to them, whereas Bocchi pushes past that and puts herself out there, showing off her skills and growing and evolving as a person to achieve the dream she's always wanted for herself and her friends, which is attention. Bocchi, despite her struggles, moved forward and belted out the guitar solo we see in episode 8 and raised the spirits of everyone around her. That quality of a person, to have the confidence to push through despite your hangups, to strive to improve and grow as a human being, and to be honest with your desires and who you are, like how Bocchi knows she's a creepy attention whore but still displays it anyways, is something only the strongest of people possess, and this anime shows that perfectly. She's not just someone with social anxiety. No, that's just the guise to get the people in the back, figuratively and literally, watching the show. But rather, she's a very strong person that most people actually can't relate with because it's an ideal they can't reach as they lack ambition. The anime hid that under something that made her relatable to show that even the weakest person on the surface can have and possess the qualities of the strongest, and they portrayed that much better than most shonen, which use that as their core theme, could ever hope to. Except for Fire Force. The smelly old lady also knows this and sees that quality in Bocchi, but it's something that so many people, both in and out of the anime, can't relate to or notice, so a lot of people miss it and believe that Bocchi's just this cute introvert girl who does silly stuff when she goes off in her own head. Though that's definitely not an incorrect read. It's fantastic writing through and through, and it makes me love the character more and more because I can relate to all sides and facets of her. Rather than her being an ideal for me, she's more of a reflection, as I likewise strive to improve every day as both a person, but also as a creator. Just like Bocchi has aspirations to become a great band, I have aspirations and ambition of being the best anime YouTuber on this platform, and just like Bocchi, I'll take another step forward each day to make that happen, as just like Ryo says about Bocchi's song, her message won't connect with everyone, but for those it does, it'll connect deeply, and I felt that personally. The most beautiful part about this show, however, is that while they portray Bocchi's loser side for a wider audience who misses the core message to latch onto, they also always have everything Bocchi does be in service to a joke. They said the worst she could say was no. That's right, while Bocchi may be an introspective look at a lonely person with loser tendencies, it's also a 4-coma gag manga at the same time, and the anime picks up on that perfectly. Not only extrapolating the 4 panels they have to work with into full-length 24-minute episodes that still capture the spirit of the manga perfectly, but they also enhance it by adding on the development Bocchi goes through and manage to intermix and balance the 2 sections of the show perfectly so that even the best development is still always in service to a joke, like this guy wanting to kill himself or the band laughing at my penis. It's not actually that small. Really, it's the staff over at Cloverworks that are really selling this show, as every episode they come up with a wackier gag each time, absolutely insisting to Papa Sony that they just had had to buy this weird board game set as it was pivotal to the joke, and the fact that they get away with their unbridled creativity is what makes it all the better. The fact that they likewise understand comedy so well also helps, as they understand the rule of 2s and 3s perfectly, and that a joke is almost never funny the third time unless you do something drastic. So when Bocchi fainting and getting lost in her head got boring, they got creative and broke the fourth wall as they actively put her disfigured face back together. You think it hurt? Even when the anime is putting Bocchi's development at the forefront and delivering you an amazing message about how the death of your uniqueness is the death of you as a person, and that the people who came to hear you play aren't your enemies but rather your fans, and therefore you should look them in the eye, it still manages to be in service to a joke where, actually, Bocchi only had one eye open the whole time. Whoa, she's like a small animal. The animation, direction, and lighting are also immaculate and help to make this show stand out in such a stacked season, especially during the concert bits, as there isn't a speck of bad CG to be found. Everything is designed around the spatial relationship between Bocchi and her friends, which helps to deliver such an immaculate sequence, whilst also depicting the emotional communication between the entire cast, with the lighting and subtle character movements pulling it all together. The fact that you can also hear how bad their performance is, as well as see it from how stiff they played during the first song versus the second song, speaks wonders of how well handled this scene from episode 8 truly is, but also in general the anime across the board. The amount of passion for this production is off the charts, and that passion leads to scenes that should be bad to illustrate a point actually being bad, so that when Bocchi belts out her solo and the characters' reactions tell you that they're playing better, you actually subconsciously relate and appreciate that more than just them saying, hey, they're better now. Because when done this way, you can internalize and confirm that, yes, indeed, they are playing better. Fucking wild. Even during those scenes where they obviously can't jam any comedy in, they make sure to follow it up with the rest of the episode being in service to clowning on all of the characters, only to end on a more serious note about how Bocchi is a hero because she pushed past her worries and saved the day for the band, but not herself. Being the banger anime of the year that it is, though, means that it's never formulaic, as the previous episode played with your expectations on this formula of ending on a high character note by the end of the episode by making a joke about the typhoon not actually coming to fake you out, and then having Bocchi come out of her shell and request they make the rain dolls anyways to ward away the typhoon, showing that Bocchi is growing more and more every episode, but then it ends with the typhoon anyway because that's fucking hysterical and not what you expected. Premarital sex. It's perfect comedic timing coupled with a perfect production and masterful writing. It's hard for me to pinpoint any one thing this show could do better because even the OST is immaculate, despite how absolutely random it is to hear weird tribal music in one scene and then 8-bit game music in the next, because it's all in service to the chaos that is Bocchi, who is strong like a rock. I'm not sorry. The characters being so lovable is also part of that masterful writing, but this show makes every character so good that they'd be the main character in any other show, but here, despite their high power levels, there's still no match for Bocchi and her Bocchis. Okay, now hear me out. And that shows with each and every passing episode. For most entire series, episode 8 of Bocchi was the perfect ending for the franchise, but we've got 4 more goddamn episodes, baby! Oh, I'm gonna